We were pretty famous back in high school. Trust us!
Had a whole future ahead of us, but now we suck.
All that potential now is flowing in the aqueducts.
Through the sands of time, many did forget.
But now our time has come to resurrect. But a podcast?
Sad I know, but can you blame us?
We are desperate to be much more than high school famous.
Hello and welcome to another thrilling episode of High School Famous, the podcast that is live on TikTok. I don't know what to say anymore.
It is technically. I mean,
yeah.
If that's what you want to if that's how you want to distinguish this episode from maybe the others, then you can.
Well, I could distinguish it from any episode besides the previous.
Yeah.
The previous one, not like the previous episodes, because that would be all of them.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we are live for our second go around, and I'm Sean.
I'm Matt.
Yay.
So it's Sunday. It's 10/10.
The date.
Yeah, the date. That has no significance, no bearing on anything.
It's the 10th day of the 10th month. That's right.
Of the 21st year.
Nope.
Of this millennia.
Sure. Yeah. What? Well, still. Yeah. That doesn't link it to the number 10, though.
No, it's thrilling.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we came ill prepared today, as we typically do. Jumping into this. So last week we did some of the internet's funniest stories. And we only have a few of those left to knock out the series that we have been doing. So we're thinking, why not? Let's just knock these stupid things out. They're terrible.
But they're hilarious. What are you talking about?
I mean, they're so hilarious that they come right around to being terrible.
Yep.
Like, it's one of those weird things, right? Where it just, it goes so far beyond a certain point that it's just, it's like when something's, I guess it's kind of like when something is funny and you do it a bunch of times and then it's not funny anymore, but then you do it a bunch more times and it comes back around to being funny again.
Yeah. So these stories, I don't know if your description of these stories matches that at all.
Yeah, I don't know how these fit at all.
They're just, because these are supposed to be funny, but they're just bad. It's not like they go through a stages of being funny and then they become terrible after a while. They're just terrible from the jump.
Yeah, they start off terrible, and then I think somehow, at least in our eyes, we can put a funny spin on them.
We will certainly attempt.
Yeah, whether or not anybody else thinks we put a funny spin on them, we tend to make ourselves laugh. Not even necessarily each other, but like I make myself laugh and you make yourself laugh.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so if you go with the philosophy of as long as you can make one person laugh, it was worth it. And if that person happens to be yourself, I think that still counts.
Yeah, why not?
Why?
Especially if you're in a room by yourself.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, why discount yourself, right? You're just as important as anyone else.
Yeah, the only time I discount myself is when I've overpriced myself to the point where I'm not making any money. So then I will discount myself a bit to just try to make money.
I often go to a 4 for 10 deal on myself. I'll offer to others.
When 4 for 10.
Yeah, when the regular
for $10,
the regular price is $3.75. So if I knock it 4 for 10, it's a deal. People will scoop it up.
What exactly?
I tend to sell out pretty fast.
What exactly are you offering in this sale? Like just you in general?
Yeah, myself.
Four of you for $10.
Yep, 4 of me. It's a bargain.
So, are you cloning yourself?
No, they just get 4 of me.
Are you standing in front of like 3 mirrors?
Well, if I could position it right and stand in front of 2 mirrors, that could be infinite.
Well, yeah, but then you're losing money in that situation. Then
what? Because the cost of the mirrors?
No, because now they're getting more than 4 for 4 of you.
That's true. So I don't do that. I didn't say that's what I do. I didn't say that's what I do.
It's what you could do. Yeah. If somebody offered enough money, you'd be willing to do that.
Maybe I have full size cutouts to prop
maybe
up.
Or do you? Like
maybe
this is your situation.
Maybe.
You're not even sure.
4 for 10 through Friday.
Through this coming Friday?
Yeah, get it while it's 4. Anyone noticing, I do apologize for the glare on my side of the image. I usually am positioned behind this window back here, and I think that's what's causing it all. So I think if I'm going to continue being the one, or whenever I'm the one who's hosting the live on my phone, I think I'm going to move so that I can try to remedy that. But this didn't. I didn't see this until we started doing it. So every time I set up my phone to position it to get it positioned right, so I can just focus on my screen portion that has you and I on it. This glare wasn't there. So lesson learned.
Lesson learned. All right.
Do you remember what number then we can say this is in the series? Is this the 7th?
I think this is the 8th.
8th?
This is the 8th. It's like a trying to think of a movie series that has a lot of movies in it.
Fast and the Furious?
Yeah, this could be like Fast and the Furious. I was about to go with Children of the Corn.
Oh.
There's like a million of those. Let's see. I was going to take a quick gander to see if I could figure out which number this is exactly, but I believe it is number 8. Yes, it is. It is. This is the 8th installment. I don't know which Fast and the Furious movie that is. Probably Fast 8. I don't know.
Well, is that the one that was called The Fate of the Furious? Because they used F and then the number 8.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Was it just an F and an 8? The Fate of the Furious? Probably not. That would have been really terrible looking.
Yeah, people would say, let's go see F8. Hey, have you seen the trailer for F8? I don't. For some reason, Fate of the Furious is what's popping in my head, so I think that's what the title was.
We're gonna go with it, even if it's wrong.
Yeah. So I think it was.
This is the Fate episode of. This is the Faith episode.
Fate. Yes, I like that.
Yeah.
So the letter F
of
and then
stories.
the number 8. So the letter F
TH.
and then the 8th 8 and then TH. Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
That.
So I mean, keep the faith. We can just maybe suggest.
Yeah, maybe keeping the faith.
And we want to thank all of you for having faith in us.
Yeah, in this episode, at least those of you who are still with us.
Yeah, nobody. But anyway,
like that sounded morbid, but those of you who are still
those of you who have not died since we started the podcast.
Yeah,
thanks.
Yeah,
for sticking around.
Sean, let's jump into these stories because, if we don't...
I'm already in midair.
Amazing. Let's go.
All right. Am I red? I always forget. Am I black or red?
You're black.
Okay.
I mean, go with our shirt colors today. You're wearing like a dark colored shirt. I got a little red on mine. So I'm rocking the...
Nice. I noticed.
Yep.
Our
rocking
swag. The merch. Yeah. So this story is called "Don't Sit on Cold Ground."
Oh,
already hilarious.
I'd rather sit on cold ground than like hot ground.
Well, what if you're at the beach or something and you sit on some nice warm? Well, you want to put a towel down. The sand will be too hot to lay on directly.
Yeah.
I mean, is the opposite of cold? Does it have to be hot? Can it just be nice and warm?
I mean, depends on what you define as the opposite of cold, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so. A couple weeks ago, me and my friends, not my friends and I, me and my friends were sitting on this cement kind of pedestal, as we called it. It's basically the steps up to the portable classroom that no one uses. This is a weird use of parentheses already.
Right.
Okay, so I'll start over. So a couple weeks ago, me and my friends were sitting on this cement kind of pedestal, as we called it. It's basically the steps up to the portable classroom that no one uses. And this weird supply French teacher, okay? Are they trying to say supply or something? Like,
no, I think they tried to say supply because there's like a thing as like a supply. Isn't there a thing such as a supply teacher?
I don't know.
But why supply French teacher?
That's weird. A weird supply French teacher. Okay, I guess I'll have to later on look up supply teacher because I'm not familiar with that This weird supply French teacher comes up to us and says, "You shouldn't be sitting on this ground. It's too cold, and it's bad for your ovaries."
But they didn't understand because they said it in French.
Right. And these were a bunch of boys. I asked her how or why. Wait, so the teacher's a she too. I asked her how or why I asked her how or why. And she said that if children sit on cold ground, their ovaries will freeze and that we won't be able to have kids. Now it's an inside joke between us about not sitting on cold ground. We are off to an awesome start, Matt.
Yeah, this story is amazing. Also, so how did this person get a teaching license?
If they think that sitting on cold ground freezes ovaries.
Right. Why?
If someone is sitting on ground that is cold enough to potentially freeze someone's ovaries, wouldn't the first concern be frostbite?
It depends. Yeah, I mean, it depends on how cold the ground is. Also, they were sitting on concrete, which isn't technically ground.
Right.
I mean, it's made of ground.
They took parts of the ground and shaped it.
Yeah.
Now it's no longer ground, but I mean, they can say that for almost anything.
Also, is this teacher a French teacher, or is it a person that is French and is a teacher?
If it was a French person that is a supply teacher, that was a very strange way to say it. A supply French teacher, not like a French supply teacher, or I don't know why the word French was in there to begin with. That doesn't seem to be pertinent to the story.
It's really not at all.
It's not at all. Or the fact, I mean, the weird part makes sense if this teacher thinks that sitting on the ground will freeze your ovaries. That would make them a weird teacher, but...
Yeah, you know how much of your body would have to be frozen prior to your ovaries freezing?
A lot.
Like, at that point, you're not going to be worried about your ovaries. At that point, you're going to be worried about just being able to keep that portion of your body without amputation.
Yeah, you wouldn't... if you're getting to the point where your ovaries are freezing, you probably can't stand up anymore.
Right.
So then you'd be worried about being just removed from the cold ground.
Well, yeah, exactly. You're not even going to be able to, like, at that point, you're scared and you can't even stand up. You can't stop sitting on the ground at that point.
Right.
Without assistance. Like, you are permanently always going to be sitting on that ground.
It's the point of no return. You know.
Right. I mean, I'm just glad at this point, like, I've sat on a lot of cold ground and I'm just glad that I haven't had to worry about my ovaries. So here's the thing, right? Worried about girls freezing their ovaries. What about any boys sitting on the ground? It'd be way easier and quicker for us to freeze our testicles. I'm trying to think of any other word. I don't know why.
Yeah, why?
Why I was afraid to say testicles just now.
Yeah, that's more likely to be frozen from. I mean, but I don't know exactly where the ovaries are located internally. So, like, if they're close to your backside or if they're closer to the front, like if you're sitting down on your bottom, where are they in relation to the ground?
Yeah, they're not remotely close to any part of your body that would be touching the ground if you're sitting.
That's what I thought.
They're more so, I'd say they're, roughly positioned kind of like by the kidneys.
So it's a bigger worry if you're laying down on your back, for example.
Yeah, or even like your stomach.
Okay.
Like, probably more so your stomach. I don't know if they're positioned. I guess I don't know where positioned like forward and backward wise.
Yeah, I don't know that either.
As far as like they're kind of mid-abdomen-ish, yeah.
But regardless, sitting down in the traditional style should pose no threat to your ovaries.
Yeah.
No matter what the ground temperature is.
Exactly. So anybody listening, that is your PSA for today.
Yeah.
You can sit on all the cold ground you want.
I just realized that I think you can see the number of viewers right now. I kept looking at the likes and thinking that was the viewers, and it just kept saying 0. No. So I don't know if we have any viewers with us right now.
It says we have 2, but that probably one of them includes me, I'm sure.
I think then that there's a little 2 in the upper right-hand corner from my end. That must be what that's referring to. So, hey, Lucy53-68, how's it going?
It's underscore, but that's fine.
I know it's an underscore.
All right. Well, you really.
I even debated saying the full name or not. I could just say, "Hey, Lucy," and they would probably know I was talking to them.
True. All right. Well, we're gonna jump into the next story, and
I'm already midair.
Hopefully, this story is a nice, sensitive story. It's called "Gay Teacher."
Yeah. Here's hoping.
So bear with us. I have no idea what this is about to be. So about a year ago, we had to do a speech about something we were passionate about. This is already starting strong.
It could go either way here.
These would then be recorded and put on the school website. I decided to do one about gay rights.
Hey, Jay Slime. Hey, Jessica.
Hold on. This sentence. I decided to do one about gay rights as it was not yet legalized in my state. Gay rights were not legalized in this person's state yet.
Right. Gay rights are illegal.
I assume they meant gay marriage.
Probably. Yeah, because I don't think
but we're going to assume that gay rights were not yet legalized in this person's unspecified state.
Right.
I decided to mention that I was gay during the speech, which wasn't that much of a surprise to people. In the end, it went really well. Then a couple of hours later,
so does
during lunch...
does that mean they just stood up in the middle of the speech and just shouted out that they were gay? Or who were they mentioning this to?
I'm assuming they just mentioned it during the speech. Like, it had nothing to do with the speech, probably. Because if you mention it, instead of being like, I decided during the speech to come out. Okay,
so they're one of the people doing the speech. So they are mentioning it during their own speech. Okay.
Yeah, they're doing their speech. Yeah, you missed the part where it says, I decided to do one about gay rights.
Yeah, I missed that because I was saying hi to people, I think.
Yeah. Don't worry about those people.
Why not? I can say hi.
Don't be interrupting my story.
Sorry. I'll interrupt my own story. I'll interrupt my own story to say hi.
We'll say hi to people if they say hi to us. How about that?
Okay.
Feel free.
Well then okay.
All right.
Otherwise, people, we're gonna pretend you're not there.
Yeah. Ugh. We're not doing this TikTok live to have viewers.
Yeah, this is just for us.
Yeah, but thanks for coming. All right. Then a couple of hours later, are you going to interrupt me every time I start talking?
Nope. But now you know how it feels. Go on.
It's because I'm louder than you and I have more important things to say.
Oh, yep. You could have just led with the second thing.
Yeah. Then a couple of hours later, during lunch, I was walking past the staff room to get to the lunch hall when I heard my speech being played. Being curious, I stopped and heard them replay, I am gay myself, actually, a couple times over. Out of the corner, I could see my 6th grade teacher give my computer studies teacher $10. Then suddenly, I sneezed really loud. The teachers turned around and saw me standing there. My 6th grade teacher has pretty much gotten over it, but my computer studies teacher refuses to make eye contact with me.
Another one. Yeah, those who haven't followed along in this series of episodes we've done with these stories, a lot of them end with someone not being able to make eye contact with another person for an extended period of time because of some embarrassing situation. So we've decided that whoever's coming up with these stories, they like to write about people that don't know how to deal with things that are slightly embarrassing. So this teacher, I would think, should be fired.
Yeah. So a couple of things, right?
Yeah.
The person says, which wasn't basically when they said they were gay, they said, which wasn't that much of a surprise to people. But these two teachers made a bet, a $10 bet, whether or not this student was gay.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah.
Because I saw, so they said that they had the speech on replay.
Maybe, yeah, I don't know why they would need to replay that line over and over again. I mean, listening to it once, you'd be like, okay, I win.
Yeah, the thing that I thought happened was the one teacher paid the other teacher to make a loop of this. Not that it was a bet they had going.
Oh, no, I guess I interpret it as it's a bet.
Ah, well, either way, whether it's
it's really weird. It's really weird it'd be really weird if I paid somebody $10 to make a loop of this kid saying I am gay myself. Actually,
Well, it's also weird just to bet on whether or not someone is or isn't, especially if you're a teacher and this is regarding students. It's more weird, right? My thing's more weird.
It's more likely that it was a bet. It's less odd of a scenario.
Less odd, but why point out that this part they had put this part on replay and it was like playing a couple times over?
I don't know. That's weird. What's also weird is the fact that the story's called Gay Teacher.
Yeah, and the
really gay student.
The student is gay, not the teacher. And I like how
the teacher not making eye contact with this student anymore might not have anything to do with the bet and might just have to do with the bigotry.
It could be. It's probably more that. And
right.
I like how you normally say out of the corner of my eye, I could see my 6th grade teacher, but all they said was out of the corner.
Oh,
so
yeah.
This suggests that when they were in the corner, they couldn't see anything. But once they left the corner, they could see the 6th grade teacher give the computer studies teacher $10.
Right.
So,
computer studies teacher. Now, is that a class where like you don't actually do any computer work? You just study computers.
It could be that you do your studying on computers. Like if you're whatever subject you're studying, you do it on a computer versus say checking out books on the subject or reading newspapers.
Nobody does that anymore. Also,
right, who knows when this was? Who knows when this story takes place? Gay rights weren't legalized in that particular state yet.
It's true. Yeah, this kid was really brave for coming out, considering publicly, that there was no gay rights.
They could have had this student could have had their rights stripped of them immediately.
Oh, they must have. Once everybody knew that they were gay. Now their rights are gone.
So, what are some basic human rights that this student would have lost? Freedom of speech.
Oh yeah, everything on the everything on the Bill of Rights.
Everything on the rights list.
Yep. They can no longer bear arms. They what is like freedom of press on there? I have no idea what's on the
freedom of press. I don't know if the pursuit of happiness is one of them.
That doesn't seem like something that would need to be on there, but it might be.
Yeah. Well, whatever the case may be, this student took a huge risk, and for people living in a state where gay rights were not yet legalized, I'm surprised that it went really well. It went really well. They said It didn't just go okay, or in the end it went really well. So during the speech, it was an uproar.
It was going very poorly.
There was commotion. I bet some people stood up and yelled things.
There may have been pitchforks.
There could have been the throwing of vegetables. Yep, torches. Yeah. A mob could have formed, which would involve people removing themselves from their own chairs and heading toward each other to form a group.
Right.
And then they began marching toward the students. And then somehow the student turned everything around, and in the end, it went really well.
Yeah. I mean, got their attention for sure.
How do you think the student turned around the mob with the pitchforks and the vegetables and the torches?
I think the mob probably just realized, like, look, this kid just lost all of his rights. Anything we do to him is not nearly as bad as that.
But if the kid lost their rights, that means that a lot of things they probably would have done to the kid, they would have had the right to do. Because the kid no longer had rights, protecting them from those things. So what kind of group that is so much against homosexuality would also be against bullying for that very lifestyle?
Yeah, I guess that's kind of true everywhere.
Yeah, let alone this particular state that the student resides in, which they failed to mention.
I also find it interesting that they referred to their 6th grade teacher, which is a very, a 6th grade teacher is a generic all subjects.
Yeah, most
but they gave then their computer studies teacher, a very specific teacher, $10. So this kid's got a 6th grade teacher, but then a very specific computer studies teacher.
You had different in 6th grade. Did you have some different teachers besides? So there's your general studies teacher. Oh, I see.
Do you give more clout to a like elementary school teacher versus say like a middle school or senior high teacher?
Do I
where
give them
they
more
are
clout?
Yeah. Do you give like because an elementary school teacher has to teach all subjects for the most part, other than like art and gym and stuff like that, right?
So
Whereas high school or middle school teachers are more specific. They study one specific.
Do you think they might be more
really good at.
So you're saying that an elementary school teacher might have a little bit more merit, I suppose, for having to be able to cover multiple subjects?
Yeah.
Versus
bit,
someone
right?
like an 8th grade math teacher is only having to teach math, or a chemistry teacher only teaches chemistry.
Yeah, granted, as you're getting older, the subjects are more advanced, obviously, than what they are in elementary school. So yeah, those teachers study very hard in those specific subjects to learn all sorts of stuff. But I mean, elementary school teachers have to know quite a bit of stuff.
They do. I know that a lot
subjects.
of it, textbooks are relied upon a lot.
Yeah. Screw that. I'm giving them way too much credit.
Yeah,
they don't do nothing. Shout out to all my elementary school teacher friends.
No teacher gets any clout from me. Yeah, we're bashing teachers now. No, teachers are great. They're underpaid, underappreciated.
Of all the things that could have got bashed in that story, Sean, let's go for the teachers.
Why not? They're the ones who clearly are in the wrong here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, take our bad mouthing of teachers in context here with the story. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
let's not get crazy.
Yeah. Okay. We're on to my next story, and it's gonna be.
Let's get on to this next story. We got a few left. We're gonna try to knock this out.
It's gonna be a sizzler of a story. Foreign student trauma. When I first moved from Lithuania to America, I was 5 years old and didn't speak any English. On the first day of kindergarten, I was crying so much that my teacher picked me up and let me sit on her lap. Crying is the universal language. Meanwhile, the rest of the kids sat on the carpet in front of me, their ovaries in jeopardy, and watched me cry while she explained to them what was going on in a language I didn't understand. Our school was 3 buildings put together. Just call it a building.
Okay. And they're put together. It's now one.
My office building, it's about 40 buildings stacked on top of each other.
There you go.
Yeah. Our school was 3 buildings put together, and the pickup was at the blue building, but my classroom was at the red building. So they put a sign over I'm
so glad they said that, because having full knowledge of what this 3 buildings put together looks like, that was super helpful that they told me which color building the pickups and the classes were at.
Yeah, by saying that, now I can picture it.
Right,
now
exactly.
Now I can imagine the full layout of the school.
Mm-hmm.
So good on this Lithuanian. I'm curious about this next part. So they put a sign over my neck. Maybe that's a translation.
So on your head?
Yeah, that's what I'm picturing. The sign is on your head because that's what's over your neck. That said, I don't speak English, and I'm going to the blue building, and sent me away to follow a crowd of other kids. I'm still traumatized. Here's what's weird. So
I'm so confused. What was the traumatizing part? The fact that
you had to wear the sign, I would guess. Well, I mean, they were crying.
Either that you had to wear the sign, or that you didn't know English, so you were freaking out. Like, why did your parents send you to school if you didn't
before
speak
learning English?
A word of English.
Yeah, that part doesn't make any sense. Kindergarten level, especially, they're not going to have anyone that's like a translator or someone who's able to. I mean, you'd have to have somebody that's able to basically teach any other language speaking person English.
Like you would not put your kid into a regular kindergarten at that point. You would put your kid in a very specific school that can cater to the fact that your child doesn't speak English at this point. And the kid's 5. It's probably barely speaking words. It's not going to have a giant vocabulary at 5 anyway, right? I don't know when kids really start learning how to speak and stuff, but like 5, it's like You can
say a lot at 5.
Yeah, but 5 is still a good age to like
Start learning a language.
Learn a new language. The younger you are, the better it is for you to learn new languages anyway.
Right. It's
right?
Yep. It's easier to learn a language the younger you are.
Right.
So this sign didn't say, "I don't speak any English. Can you guide me to the blue building?" It just says, "I'm going to the blue building now." So they're still on their own.
Yeah, it's just a sign telling people what the kid's doing, not that the kid knows what it's doing.
And by saying I don't speak English, the sign is basically saying, "Hey, fragile 5-year-old, no one's going to talk to you on your scary walk from the red building to the blue building. We're going to make it so that no one approaches you to try to make friends."
I also like that in the parentheses of that part of the teacher was explaining to them what was going on in a language I didn't understand. Well, it'd been weird for her to be explaining it to the kids in a language you understood and they didn't.
Yeah, and especially because
that is an unnecessary thing to say.
Yeah, this person already established at the beginning and didn't speak any English, they said. But then later on, they point out that the teacher's explaining to the students what's going on in a language that they don't understand. As not they as in the other students. But yeah, that would be strange if wouldn't it be awesome if the teacher explained it in a language that nobody understood?
That would be, yeah.
Like the student spoke English, the one student spoke Lithuanian, whatever his language is. I'm not sure if Lithuanian is a language or if there's another language spoken out of that country. But the teacher's speaking in Portuguese or.
So here's an interesting thing to think about, right? If you're explaining something to a bunch of people in a language they do not understand, are you technically explaining anything?
I would say you're not explaining anything at that point.
Right. You're just talking.
Yeah, there's words spewing out of your mouth. You might be explaining something to yourself at that point.
Right. I think, yeah, I guess it's going to be in the, from each person's perspective. In your perspective, you're explaining something. From their perspective, they just hear you. They know you're talking. And depending, they might understand certain words.
Yeah.
But they're going to still have no idea what the hell you're talking about. Interesting. This next story, all right, I'm going to, bit of a warning here. This story might get a little sexy.
Oh my.
Just based off the title alone.
This is weird.
His face looks like the best chair.
I think, okay, I didn't pick up on it at first, but now hearing you say it, I'm like, okay.
It's the way I say it, I think. That's what made it, that's what made you come around and your ears perked up and you realized, yeah, it's sexy as hell.
Anyone watching this knows my ears did not perk up. They remain stationary.
I saw a slight twitch.
Can I even do that? I don't think I can even move my ears.
I don't know what you're trying to do, but you're moving your face and not your ears.
Right. Well, I'm trying to move different muscles in my face to cause my ears to, get moved along with it, and I'm failing.
Yeah, I don't know if the face muscles are necessarily attached back here. I don't know how many muscle groups are back here as far as like for movement.
Hey, everyone out there, tell us, how do you move your ears? Can you make your ears wiggle? If so, what muscles do you use?
Some people can.
Right. That's why I'm asking if anyone watching happens to be one of those people.
I mean, I think I can make mine move slightly like by association of like I'm not moving them specifically, but they move because like I clench my jaw or something and they'll wiggle because of that.
I was trying to figure out how to get them to move by moving something else and have it just sort of get pulled along for the ride.
Yeah, I can kind of get my lobes to wiggle a little bit. But that might also be because they hang differently and I have them.
Lobes?
Yeah.
I just have attached lobes.
I know.
I have earlobes.
I mean, sort of. You have weird, freaky, like alien ears.
They're just attached. A lot of people have this. People have these kind of earlobes.
It's like a webbed finger.
Not two webbed fingers together. It's one webbed finger.
Yep.
So it's just like a finger with some webbing hanging off of it.
Yep.
You have to have a minimum of two webbed fingers to be able to have webbed fingers of any kind.
I suppose.
You are an ace.
An idiot. All right. Well, let's jump into this sexy story. I know Sean's really clamoring to hear it.
I've been
Trying
either
to figure out
chomping
how to
or
perk up
I've
his
been either
ears.
chomping or champing at the bit, whichever is the correct
Yeah.
saying.
They are both technically correct.
Then I've been doing both at the bit.
If any of them has been said by anyone or any group, if any number of people have said a saying, it's technically the correct saying.
Why
You
is
can
it not?
disagree with each other, but it's technically correct.
Why is it not on the bit? Why is it at the
'Cause
bit?
that's bad for the teeth.
I don't say I'm
don't wanna
chewing.
chomp.
I don't say I'm chewing at my food. I'm chewing on my food.
You've never chewed at your food before chewing on it?
No.
Hmm.
Otherwise, you're just sort
You've
of
never
like
been
you're just
I'm about to get you.
yeah, yeah. I do that every meal. Yep,
Yeah, I'm about to get you food.
yep. That's why nobody repeats meals with me. Like, yes, I would like to enjoy a second meal with you. All that
How is
champing and
dating
chomping. Grrr.
I've been on so many dates, and I, for some reason, never get a second one. I just
Never.
don't get it. I should.
Yeah,
We always go out for a nice meal.
yep. I'm always pre-champing.
We always go to the same restaurant, and I always get the same waiter who always sighs just before coming to my table. Anyways,
And
all
during
right.
the whole ordering process.
Yeah, just even though that has nothing to do with you actually eating the food. That's all
It's just you being
pre-food
there.
stuff.
Right.
You're already like chomping at your food before you're ordering or while you're ordering it.
Hey, hi, people that have joined. How's it going?
Yeah, you're like looking at the menu and just seeing all the pictures. And you're like, yeah, I can imagine eating that.
They're really tired of me handing them menus with holes in them.
Right, and saliva.
Yeah.
Other than the saliva that was already on them.
That's how I order food. I just eat the entree that's pictured out of the menu, and I say, "Give me I'll have this, please."
You're like, this seems good.
Yeah, this is shaped really nicely. I can enjoy this shape.
I can see myself inserting that into my mouth.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and chewing at it.
yeah.
Hmm.
I can imagine.
Quite good.
His face looks like the best chair.
We're gonna get through these, Matt.
Yep. So there's this really hot kid in my creative writing class, and everyone knows I like him. But one day,
I'm gonna stop you right there. I'm gonna stop you right there. This is false.
Because you didn't know?
A hot kid in a creative writing class?
Oh.
This is not happening in real life.
We didn't have any hot kids in our creative writing class?
I don't remember who was in our creative writing class. I don't remember who was in.
But if they were at our caliber, then no.
I don't remember who was in our class at all.
I remember like one or two people. Anyways, but one day he walked in looking like a frickin' GQ model. And I accidentally out loud whispered, what? Out loud whispered.
If you're just thinking it to yourself, do you whisper the thought? Does the thought whisper?
I don't know.
Because how do you whisper any other way other than out loud?
Right.
I imagine if
But
I'm
that
just
was
thinking
something-
something,
yeah.
my thought is not gonna be whispering to myself.
And how do you accidentally whisper something? Like whispering, I feel like you have to kind of make the conscious effort to whisper something where you're like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever accidentally whispered anything. Because
I
if
don't think
something's
I have.
coming out of my mouth, like I've accidentally blurted stuff out before.
Yeah, well, I'm sure that's what this is meant to be. What they're saying is that they accidentally blurted something out they meant to not say out loud. They just happened to whisper it, so it's just a weird arrangement of words.
Anyways, I accidentally out loud whispered, "Shit, his face looks like the best chair."
What a stupid thing to say.
Yeah.
What a weird sentence.
Yeah. And the girl who sits in front of me turned around and said, "WTH, that's freaky and gross." And she moved her seat.
They can do
She
that?
gives me weird looks every time she sees me now, and she can never look me in the eye.
I would, I say, yeah, because that was a very strange sentence to utter. His face looks like the best chair.
Another strange sentence to mutter, though, is WTH. That's freaky and gross.
Yeah, like you actually say WTH.
I'm wondering if they put WTH just to shorten the person saying what the hell, but they said shit just a minute ago. So why the hell wouldn't they just type in what the hell? So I'm assuming this person said WTH. That's freaky and gross.
I'm wondering why you didn't just say WTH instead of why the hell.
I did originally.
No.
Yes, I did.
You said WTH when you read the story, which is meant to be in place of what the hell, but when you just said, why the hell would you? I'm surprised you didn't say WTH would you? Because WTH could also be for why the hell.
Okay, I get what you're saying. And that
Finally.
was pointless. Because I don't do that. That's why.
All right. My story.
We're moving right on from
Do you have more?
I don't know. I mean, this girl, it's not that freaky and gross. Like, if the chick wants to sit on his face, so be it. She's comfortable in her sexuality.
Yeah. Well, they did.
She's comfortable in her sexuality, yet still reserved and wants to quietly whisper these dirty thoughts she's having.
A creative writing class. This suggests that they're probably of high school age to have a creative writing class. So at least they're not, say, like in 6th grade, like in one of the previous stories, because that would be like freaky and gross. A kid would probably think. Maybe the person who reacted that way just didn't think he was hot and thought that the thought of him sitting, or not, the thought of his face being a chair, grossed that person out.
Yeah, that person was not as in tune with their sexuality as the storyteller.
Right. What they don't mention is that person said his face looks like it needs to be reupholstered, like a worn down chair.
Yeah, she didn't care for his face in that way.
Right.
She's like, I'll use it as a stepping stool.
Yeah,
but I would never I'll use it if I need to change a light bulb.
Yeah, or hang myself.
And to be 100% honest, nobody's face makes a great chair. Not for a long, not for prolonged sitting anyway.
Gotcha.
Yep. All right, next story.
All right. Now, Matt, this could be advice for you. Never wear a dress in Chicago. The Windy City. I think I know where this is going.
Because that's where I live.
Oh. So when I was younger, my aunt was kind enough to invite me to come along with her to Chicago for my cousin's paintball tournament.
Okay, weird.
Who traveled? Okay, this cousin is traveling for a paintball tournament. I had never been to Chicago before, so naturally I had to go see the big city. Just like
not one of its taglines.
Yeah. Chicago, the big city.
Yeah,
just like any other girl, I wanted to get all dolled up before walking around in front of people.
Wow, that is sexist for her to think that.
Yeah.
Just like any other girl.
Yeah.
Sometimes girls don't want to get dolled up.
Sometimes guys want to get dolled up.
And sometimes they just want to do it for themselves, not to be walking and parading in front of other people.
Stop putting your gender stereotypes on me, lady.
Yeah. And all the other women.
Yeah. And women too. One thing that Chicago has plenty of is vents.
You skipped a sentence.
Did I? Oh, crap.
Yep.
Yeah, I get dolled up. Okay. I wore an extremely soft red dress.
That's an interesting descriptor.
Okay, we're displaying our level of ignorance, I think, to the world of fashion. I'm sure this is a term people use. So if anyone wants to chime in and let us know what a soft dress means. Is soft described as the color of red?
I'm assuming. Oh, maybe. Okay, maybe it's the color.
Maybe the color.
The soft red color, which is again unnecessary. I'm sure it's completely unnecessary even to even depict the color of the dress in this story.
Well,
but I want to assume
look, Matt, she's a girl, so clearly colors are very important. Like the colors of things are very important to her. Like the most important thing for her for a purchase of a vehicle is what color it is. We all know this.
Do we? I want to assume that soft is describing the feel of the dress and not that it's a soft red color.
But then what's like a hard red or a stiff red dress? Like what is that? What's the opposite? What's a non-soft dress?
I don't know and I don't care. I just want it to be the descriptor.
Okay. And Matt, you know this about Chicago. I think this is one of the things it's famous for. It has plenty of vents.
Yeah, but you also forgot to mention that she was wearing, not only was she wearing the soft red dress, but she was in love with, but she also was wearing some wedges.
Oh, what color were the wedges? Were they soft?
I don't know if they were a soft color or a soft in general. They were just wedges.
Were they potato?
They're not even. She's not. Yeah, she's not even describing that the wedges were shoes.
Was it
They
cheese?
could have been. Yeah, they could have been all sorts of different wedges.
Yeah. Okay. Now that you've caught me up to my story, you've caught me up to my place in my own story. One thing that Chicago has plenty of is vents. Matt, you know this. This is the world knows this.
Yep.
It's also the big city. And
Right.
I ignored them because the ones in my city are never on. The vents are never on.
Then why are they there?
Right. This was a mistake because I just so happened to walk over one that was on, only to be met with steam hot enough to burn leg hair off.
Not true.
And my dress being blown up to my neck around hundreds of other people.
So here's the thing. Those are air vents, not steam vents. They would never blow steam up through anywhere anybody would be walking because if it's hot enough to burn leg hair off, I mean, it's steam. People die from being hit with steam.
Wouldn't there be some sort of guard around it so you couldn't walk over it then? Or warning signs, or
there will be. Yeah, as far as I know, there are no ground level steam vents in the city of Chicago, blowing hot ass steam up towards the residents and visitors.
Maybe you don't live in Chicago then, because this is clearly what's going on in Chicago, the big city with all the vents.
Right. I mean, they have plenty of them. There's plenty. There are plenty.
Yeah.
Like we have enough.
I mean, there's going to be plenty of events. You know why there's going to be plenty of events in Chicago?
Why?
It's a big city.
Oh yeah, it's the big city.
It's the big city. That's
of all cities.
Chicago's name. You know.
Yeah. It's one of its many taglines.
Yeah, New York is the Big Apple. Minneapolis and St. Paul are the Twin Cities.
Yeah.
Can't think of any other examples.
Ones.
The
City of Angels.
City of Angels.
The Bay Area.
Yeah. So, but big city. Chicago's the big.
The big city.
City.
But no, I'm glad that we have plenty of vents. It's not like just enough or not enough. It's plenty.
Yeah.
You know.
In the
to me, it sounds like more than enough.
In the category of vents, Chicago is plentiful.
Yes.
I like the title of your next story.
Are we moving on?
Oh yeah, we are.
Okay.
We got 2 left. Let's just do it.
Yep, we're gonna get here. This next story is called "Son of a Bitch Adam." It's all one word. Son of a Bitch Adam.
Even the name is in there as one word. It's all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I used to babysit this lovely boy who was a real handful.
It doesn't say lovely.
It does not. I read that completely wrong. Why?
I have no idea.
Okay. I used to babysit this little boy who was a real handful. He was so small. He was a real handful.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Keep
and
going.
He was lovely. He was so lovely.
It's a lovely size.
He was always in trouble, and it seemed like every time his dad had to call him, it went like this. Every time his dad had to call him, like forceful, like he's forced to call his son, or
if he has a reason to call him.
Or a reason to call him. All right.
Yeah.
Dad finds disaster left by Adam. Dad yells out, "Son of a bitch, Adam." One day I had to pick up Adam's older brother at school, a Catholic school. His teacher, a nun, sees adorable little Adam. Sees adorable little Adam with his chubby cheeks and face like a cherub and asks him his name, and he answers flat out, "Son of a bitch, Adam." All right, so the structuring of this story is fucking horrible to the fact that the payoff sucks at that point.
I know. You got the ending of the story in the title.
Yeah, but here's the thing. So this is what bothers me. Every time his dad had to call him, it went like this. So I'm assuming calling him on the phone.
No.
But I guess what it means is just like call him to the room.
Yeah.
So the way this 2-part story plays out of her telling how it happens, it's just poorly done of just dad finds disaster left by Adam, dad yells out, "Son of a bitch, Adam." It's just, I don't know. The structuring of this is bad.
It is. And
yes,
I mean, you would think that anytime the babysitter was there, the parents weren't there. So the babysitter must have been around more often, that they would be able to witness this, or maybe this is something that Adam had told the babysitter.
This is more of a nanny situation, it seems like, because this babysitter is also picking them up from Catholic school.
Yeah.
Like anytime I've had any sort of interaction or any experience with babysitters, there's very little. They never want to stick around because they're like, you don't even have kids. Why am I here?
But I'm paying you to be here with me.
I'm like, you're fulfilling a fantasy.
You're a lovely size.
You're a real handful, lady.
You're a real handful.
But you know what I mean?
You're a Catholic handful.
They're not like picking the kids up from school and stuff. I mean, most babysitters are like not of driving age.
Typically,
there's obviously plenty of people who do babysitting, as older people, but like when you think babysitter, it's like, oh, this is our 15-year-old neighbor who's trying to make some money, to buy a car eventually, or whatever.
For the most part, anyone who used to babysit Leo would have to either be getting dropped off or picked up by someone to get to our house. Yeah.
Interesting. Well, let's do it, Sean. Let's end this reign of terror we've been under for 8 episodes with this nice short little story.
Yep, we'll do it. But this also means we have no excuse next week. We have nothing to fall back on if we're not prepared. So we have to prepare next time.
I'll find a website that has more of the internet's funniest stories.
The internet's funnier stories. What if there was a site like that declares that they are less funny? All right. Yeah. Story number 57. As it turns out, I am gay. When I was around 9 years old, I was starting to get confused about my sexuality. So I would always look up "Are you gay?" quizzes on our family computer because I was scared and confused. And my mom eventually saw the searches in the history and confronted me about it. I lied about it and said I had accidentally clicked on an ad. As it turns out, I am gay. That's the story?
Yeah. What?
So they were confused about their sexuality. They were searching on the computer, "Am I gay?" or "Are you gay?" Sorry. And then the mom found out. And then I lied and said I accidentally clicked on an ad, and I am gay.
I mean, one of those ads clearly worked.
Yeah, because what kind of ad? Whoa, what kind of ad is that?
Right.
Like an ad is to entice you to buy a product or a service. So are there ads enticing you to be gay?
I mean, I guess so. That's what, a 9-year-old's mind. At 9 years old, did you have any thoughts about any sort of sexuality? Or any of that stuff?
I mean, I remember even having I thought I was having like a crush on a girl in like kindergarten.
Okay.
But I don't know I don't think I maybe knew what a crush was. But no, I don't know. I mean, I was
at 9 years old. Did you even know what being gay was?
I don't think so. No.
I feel like, I don't know. I feel like we come from a generation where that stuff wasn't so upfront as it is nowadays. Which is
for
fine.
Us, yeah. Because my son's 9 and he's well aware of some homosexual couples and heterosexual couples, and he's
right.
It's just nothing. It's not anything that he would think of as unusual. He just knows that right. Some people are this and some people are this, and he doesn't pay any mind to it.
Right.
But for when we were growing up, it was still something that was largely kept quiet, and this is something that you would accuse someone of being if you wanted to pick on them or something,
right.
That kind of thing. So we're definitely
for reference, we were 9 in 1991. It was a much different time.
We were 9 in 1991.
Yeah. So that's pre-gay
rights.
It's before gay rights were legalized in all 50 states.
In all the states. You could be
what a
jailed. I don't know.
I mean,
What a very what a closer.
what a story to end on.
Yeah, I know. Wow. The build up. Maybe we should have read these in reverse order. Maybe the first one is like number one. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I guess. Yeah. I mean, I liked cold reading them to not have any sort of expectation.
Right, but we could have.
Yeah, this was not the story to end on. There was a couple towards the middle that were much more entertaining.
Yeah.
But this one, I think, did give me a couple decent audio clips I can pull out of you just saying, "As it turns out, I am gay."
Sure. To you, which you will then provide to some teacher that will pay you $10, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I know some people that are requesting it.
So this list of stories was brought to you by Heinz. So we hope you enjoy Heinz ketchup.
Why?
There are 57 stories.
Oh, okay.
Heinz 57.
So in 9 more episodes from now, will that also be sponsored by Heinz?
Well, we're not going to be doing this in 9 episodes from now.
I'm just saying, will that episode be sponsored?
I don't know what you mean.
Heinz?
I'm not sure.
In
what
9 episodes, this is episode 48. In 9 episodes, it'll be episode 57.
Oh,
holy crap!
That's
why did I? Why? How?
I didn't have the number of episodes we're currently on. I thought you were saying 9 episodes from now. Will this episode still be sponsored by, or will this list still be sponsored by Heinz? Like, what's that have to do with future episodes?
Yeah.
We're not going back to this list again. You're the one that doesn't make any sense.
Bye.
Hold on, not yet. Why didn't you just say, so does that mean our 57th episode will also be sponsored by Heinz? Everyone would have got what you were saying there.
Everybody will get what I'm saying in the beginning because they will know that they are listening to the 48th episode because it'll be clearly labeled.
Yeah, but for me, I'm not looking at a label right now that tells me what episode this is, nor am I looking at the label for the previous episode.
You need to maintain more knowledge of this podcast and understand what's happening around you at all times.
I'm Sean.
I'm Matt.
And welcome to another episode of High School Famous, the podcast. So Matt,
not sure where you're going with this.
I don't know. I'm giving you all my knowledge of the podcast right now.
Okay.
It's High School Famous. It's a podcast. I'm Sean. You're Matt. That's where I am.
Fantastic.
And you're a poor communicator.
Everybody else figured it out.
No,
but you.
Nope. Hey, tell us. Hey, anyone in the live right now can tell us? Did he make any sense?
I don't think there's anybody else in here.
You're in here. Can you tell me if you made sense or not?
Totally. Yep. I knew exactly what I was saying the entire time. Made total sense. You are so dumb.
Goodbye, everyone. We'll be back next week live.
What a dummy.
We'll tell you. We'll tell you what time when we know.
Idiot.
We are on TikTok now, which makes us even cooler. HS Famous. Find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at HSFamousPod. Email us directly at highschoolfamous@gmail.com. We have Patreon too, but you'll never go there. Altogether, our hearts beat as one.